or guests sitting in the studio and waiting to come on. So go ahead and share and let persons know that we are here and you don't want to miss this conversation. One of the things that I know for sure is we're not short on talent. We're not short on talent. We're not short on ideas, you name it. What happens first is that we're afraid. And starting over doesn't have to be with your business alone. You know, starting over can be you may have started something in your business and you want to start that over. So go ahead and share with your friends. Let them know that we are here. You don't want to miss this conversation that I'm going to be having with Amy. We'll be able to help somebody. We're also on Facebook. So let persons know. So I'm going to be bringing Amy into the studio right now. We have these lives and we try to keep them like 30 minutes so you can get something that you can leave with. And also,
Mhm.
if you want to watch it over, you know, it's an easy watch. 30 minutes goes off just like that. Sometimes I'm talking by myself and I'm like, oh my God, I've been talking for 30 minutes. So hi, Amy, and welcome. Welcome to our Wednesday nights live.
Hi everyone. So happy to be here.
Thank you for coming on. So if you can look through the window, the sun is shining. It's 8 p.m. I'm in Canada, guys, and this this time is causing me to not get a lot of sleep because um as your queen, so it's night and you go to bed 10 o'clock because that's when it's get dark and then you wake up early.
Mhm.
Hey, thank you for coming on. I know a lot of persons need it. Tell somebody where you're joining us from and let us know where you're joining from and you know maybe what's a fear that you are struggling with. We're gonna get started right away. Amy, are you able to Facebook is working for you?
We are checking it out as we speak.
Yeah. So, guys, we want to have this conversation, as I shared before, if you're just coming on, because it's important that we know that nothing is impossible. You know, you see persons start business, you see them doing stuff. We aren't gifted with anything magical. You know, we just take a chance at something and it works or it doesn't work, and we start over if it doesn't work. So that is what we're going to be talking about with Amy. So I would have shared if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Amy is a nurse entrepreneur with almost 20 years of nursing experience in caring for children. Amy decided to take a break from her career to rest and pursue her dreams. And I know the first thing that comes to a person's mind is, I can't do that because I don't have the money, or I have bills to pay, I have kids to send to school, you name it. So, Amy, tell us, how did you do that? How did you get up in the middle of a turmoil year, COVID and all of that, and decided that, you know what, I'm taking a break from this and I'm going to start my own business?
Honestly, I just knew I had to, right? There comes to a point where in your life or your career, you may be wondering, is this it? Or can I dream big and chase it? And I think I had multiple signs that, oh, you might want to shift. But then I started getting some big, scary ones reminding me, I can't continue working like this and I want to try something different. And so for me, it was more so figuring out how can I try something different? And if I don't really like anything that's out there, how do I create it for myself? So I think for me, like I said, it was just signs of I want to do something different. Let me figure it out.
And I can tell you that that's where I was, where I got to as well. And you
Mhm.
know when you know. But when you had that thought that this is something different that you want to do, what
Mhm.
were some of the things that came to your mind?
Or
You know, if
absolutely.
you're being real about the fears that you had when you were about to dive off and try this thing that's different.
Well, let's talk about it. Fear is real, completely real. I always imagine it when I'm an 80s baby, when you had the cartoons and they would run off the cliff and they would be still running. And then when they look down, they would start falling, right? And I think that's when you kind of capture the fear. So for me, initially, being a manager, leading a team, being in healthcare when there was a time where they needed nurses. How could I leave my job? I felt like I was abandoning my profession. What would people think or say about me? I mean, I had people come up to me and say, "Are you sick? Is there a family problem? Are you mentally okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine," right? The idea, and it's really judgment from your peers because everyone is used to working all of the time. So, who do you think you are to decide
Yeah.
that you're not going to work? And then, of course, money, right? We equivalate working as adults to have money to survive. So the idea of not working and I'm not part of a trust fund, retiree, have a rich husband, none of the above. So what puts me in a place to be able to do that? And even though I made the plans and was like, yes, I can do this for 3 months, trust me, the moment I left my boss's office after giving my notice, I gripped my stomach and said, oh my God, I just quit my job. Because in my mind, I was like, wait, how am I doing this? What was I just thinking? But then I walked away and I was like, no, I made the right decision. And so it's really recognizing all of the fears and still doing it anyways.
Yes, and I am happy you said that, because I think sometimes when persons see you take this leap of faith, they
Mhm.
believe that, oh, you have some trust fund put aside, or oh, she has her family, or she have her spouse,
Yep.
or she have it all figured out. Guys, we don't have it all figured out. What we know is what we feel in our gut, and
Yep.
that is there is something else for us to do, and we're jumping off and we're going to do that thing, and it's going to work out. So this person, Pennsylvania, they're excited to open their spa in Jamaica, but every now and then, their anxiety gets the best of them, and this fear is out of nowhere. It's there. It's probably just sleeping at the time, but it has its moments when it jumps up. Even though I'm on the path through the fear, through fear, my faith is there. They continue that at the other path. My faith is there, but it's just something that pops in and out. And I just want to let you know it's going to be normal. I do vision board workshops, and one of the things I do first is ask persons to write down their fears. And I often say to them, your fear is never going to leave you. But knowing that it's there, you can now put something in place to manage it. So therefore, it's like somebody who has a fear of public speaking. Does that mean they don't speak? No, it means that whenever they're going to speak, they do things, whether it is they need to practice what they're going to be saying on a frequent basis. I say to people, I find somebody in the audience who connects with me,
Mhm.
or looks like, yeah, they're interested and they're eating up what I'm saying. And I'm just glued to that person. So it's like we're having a conversation. They're not speaking, but I can see their response through their facial expressions. So it's not that your fear is going to leave you, but knowing that, okay, I want to open this business in Jamaica. I want to open this spa. What are the things that you're afraid of? If I can just share one thing for me that happened was, I have a group of accountability persons that I meet with maybe once per quarter, as often as we can. And I remember when I was deciding to leave my job, one of the things, I said to them that I don't know, but this week I feel a little bit overwhelmed, because you have your highs and your lows. The times when you're like, yay,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And there's another time where you're like, what the hell did I just do?
Yep.
And we do this thing where we ask, okay, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? And
Mhm.
when you get to the end, because we did it in a leadership session where the end was, and you die. And one of the things we realized that there were so many things that needed to happen that could happen before we die, that we're
Mhm.
like, she's like, Michelle, what's the worst that could happen? I'm like, you know what? The worst that could happen is that I need to find another job. And she's like, and what? I'm like, okay, then I just get a job. you know?
It's Yeah, it's definitely understanding a worst case scenario. And I think the other thing that I agree with you about fear always being there, like it never really goes away. I think it's wanting it more than you fear it.
Yeah.
You see that thing of wanting it more, that will take you over the moments where you're like in the pit of your stomach, you have butterflies, and you're just like, what am I doing? But I want this more than I actually fear it.
I love that. Wanting it more than you fear it. I love it, because
Mhm.
if you think about our connection, there are so many things that can happen when you take that leap.
Mhm.
We call it leap of faith, and it is a leap of faith because you're jumping
Yes.
into the unknown.
Yep.
You're not sure if things are going to work out. Um, I just jumped in the meeting. I was in the meeting first time, and we just ended up in a pod together. And I'm like, I connect with Amy because Amy is on a path that I'm on. And
Right.
now we're having these conversations and we can help each other out. And you're in a different state. So you're in a different country. You never can tell when you take that leap of faith that things do happen. But on a practical level, yes, wanting it more than you fear it, that's bingo right there.
Mhm.
um what are some of the things that you had to put in place, because knowing that the fear is there and it's really a plan that you're going to need in order to conquer and to do this different thing, what were some of the things that you put in place when you were getting ready to leave your nursing practice?
Sure. So I think it's really quieting those fears, similar to what you said, is write down all the things that you're worried about, right? And so, of course, money, top of the line. I had a mortgage to pay. I had a lifestyle I loved. I loved to travel. All of those things had to be part of the plan. I wasn't just leaving to hide in a room under a blanket. No, I was leaving to live a full life. So for me, it was really looking through all of my finances and budgeting. And when I reviewed it, I said, well, how many months can I afford not to work? If I can figure out that number, then that's the number. And my initial number was 3 months. And I said, all right, first month and a half, I get to do nothing. No alarm, no schedule, no appointments, no meetings. I wake up when I want to, I nap when I want to. And I had friends who would call me in the midst of it and like, you're still laying on the couch. And I was like, yes, because this is my sabbatical. So I think number one was the finances. Number two, I had to decide what I wanted to do. As much as I talk about just resting, it was more so what did I want at the outcome of it? How did I want to feel? How did I want to live? What did I want to do next? So, in between those moments of rest, there was time in nature, there was time traveling because I love being by the beaches in the Caribbean and really reflecting on like, what do I want my life to look like? And what can I do that will fit the lifestyle, not the other way around? And so once I determined those pieces, I was like, all right, now we need to find the thing that fits the dream.
I'm gonna say I love it like every time because that's one of the things I did not do, and I'm taking that you took time to yourself to do nothing.
Mhm.
I jumped straight from my corporate into my business, and I told myself that I was going to take a break, and I still haven't. But I love that. Figure out how long can you go without working, and that's your thing. When I was making my decision, one of the things I did was because I started doing it while I had my job,
Mhm.
I had a number. So I said, whenever
Yeah.
my private business was generating this in numbers, then I knew it was time to go because then I would be able to afford, to live while it still grow, even though that number is not consistent, but at least it's a little buffer until because there's work that you have to do. So I often say to persons, you're making that change even in a career. What Amy's saying, have a plan and take some time for yourself and how you want to feel, because that is it. For
Mhm.
me, even making that decision to make that change, it wasn't just about wanting to change, but at where I am in my life, it's what do I now want to feel at the end of the
Yeah,
day?
exactly.
And then I'm creating the thing that's going to help me to feel that way. Because so many entrepreneurs, you're doing something. So if you're starting your spa, what is it that is going to be doing for you? Because when you don't have that plan as to how you want to feel, you start chasing the money and then you get busy and you get burnt out and you're right back where you were before. So think about how it is that you want to feel, or how you want others to feel, and then you create the business around that. One of the things we're even doing with entrepreneurs is whenever I work with them and they want me to do a business plan, my question is, how many days do you want to work per week? Because we're setting up this business so you
Mhm.
can work for 3 days and not 7 days and then be frustrated with the business. So if it means that you need to hire somebody to come on, then that's what we're going to do.
No, 100%. It's how you feel. So part of the reason why I left my job, besides being dreaming big, was that I was burned out as a nurse. If you see any of the headlines anywhere in the world right now, there's a nursing shortage. Nurses are tired and exhausted. And many of them are just looking for that next thing to do. But if you're tired already and you're just looking for another job, that's not going to get rid of everything you've experienced. And I've made it a point that even when switching jobs, I take at least 2 weeks to just process. Transitions are hard. And
Yeah.
so if you don't take time to process, or you think by starting this business, you're going to remove all of the stress of the old job, you're just taking it right in there. Right. It's so important for you to figure out how you want to work. And I read the book 4 Day Work Week, and it truly
Yeah.
inspired me that as I build my businesses, I don't really want to work more than 4 to 5 days a week. Like, I even as I build businesses and they say you're going to get burned out and you have to be on 24/7. No, I'm choosing how to do it and
Yeah.
how I want my life to be while I build my business.
Awesome. And when you think about the feeling part of it, that's just everything for you because it's not just about you, it's about you and it's about your family.
Mhm.
And so I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she called it time wealth. I don't remember if that's the accurate term,
Hmm.
but that's what I wanted. And so even in doing the business, guys, you fear something and you jump into it. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but because you keep doing it, then you are getting to, it's not perfection, but it's developing the habit of showing up. So for me, it's when I started, I was working long hours and I was working every day because there was this thing in my mind where if I don't work, I don't eat.
Hmm.
And because if I don't work, I don't eat. I need to be working every day. But I had to go back to, why did you start doing this? You wanted time.
Hmm.
So whatever it is you're jumping into, you get to work on yourself. And then I had to deal with, why is it I feel this way? Why do I feel like I have to always be working? And then okay, I had to work on a value system that I had for myself.
Yep.
So when you jump into something that you're afraid of, the fact that you jump over the fear, that's not the end of it.
No.
Like you jump over the fear and then you meet something else. You jump and you may meet something else, but it's like continuous development. It took me so long to charge what I needed to charge for my services because I had a value system for myself that I needed to work on it that was there from maybe I was a child. So when you move into things that you're afraid of, you work on you, and then your family benefits, and then everybody around you benefits.
100%. I think it's so important that you understand that there's a mindset shift that's going to happen and it's going to look very different. In order for you to go places you've never been, you have to become someone you've never been.
Yep.
And people don't realize it. They think that, I was told, oh, you're so brave. And I was like, that was literally only the beginning. The jump was the beginning. It was like, all right, how are we going to fly when we fly low, when we fly high? How are we going to manage this? And really determining your value system. What does that look like? What's most important to you as you pursue these dreams is really key.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's so many facets to ourselves, that we've not discovered. So when you move into another realm, and I know we are talking about moving from having a full-time job to entrepreneurship, but you
Mhm.
could be an entrepreneur already and you're thinking about doing something else in your business.
Mm.
So maybe you are serving individual entrepreneurs and you're looking to start serving corporates. Um, the thing is, I think about wanting to start the business and like going to people and people saying no. I had to do a whole thing about how do I accept no's. And
Yes.
I got the first no, and I was like, oh my God, I'm still here. So, like, okay, let's go. Okay, it's a no. And then, no, that's developing something different in me for so many other aspects of my life that I never even thought of before. So, you get to grow, and I'm leaving this one up, wanting it more than you fear it, whatever that thing is. It's,
No, definitely. And
yeah,
I think the no is really key because you take it as a personal rejection. But what I've come to realize, it just means that was not for you.
yeah,
That person was not for you. That company was not for you. They did not fit what you needed, and you weren't a good fit for them.
yeah,
Because sometimes when we see the no, we want to force it, right? We want to say, this has to happen. I really wanted this. But I've learned that no's are good. No's
yeah.
are very, very good.
Those are gems.
Yep.
No, I've received some no's, and even in the no's, we're friends and we're talking, and we're doing things, and they're sending best wishes and sharing what I'm doing on social media platforms and just expanding your reach.
Mhm.
So, when we talk about conquering fear and trying to move on, as we said, I I like to say, let me see what she's saying here. I like to say it no to what you're offering, not you. Okay, right, right. Okay, I get what you're saying. No to what you're offering and not you. Because I use a lot of the other persons who've carved the way. KFC is one of them. You talk about how many no's they got before they are where they are today.
Mhm.
So wanting it more than you fear it, if you know that this thing means something to you. We all watch The Pursuit of Happiness and we want to cry with Will Smith. But you look at his journey, like that's a true story. You look at the
Mhm.
journey and you see all the things that has happened. So when we now decide to jump into this new realm,
Mhm.
whether it's starting a business, offering something that you've never done before, how did you get over the I don't want to say negative because I think people share with us from where they are, but like persons around you who are like, what are you doing? Like this is crazy. How do you get over that?
I think you have to, again, go with your gut feeling and your inner conviction of what you want, and with the belief that you can obtain it. Not everybody, when you have this idea or vision, can see your vision. Why? Because it's only for you. It's
Yeah.
only for you to see and believe, right? And that's completely faith-based. And I think with that resonating, even, my mom, she's, from the Trinidad, from the Caribbean, and is like, what do you mean not working? This concept is like, what? Or, you have friends who say, well, if this doesn't work, you could just go back to work. And I'm like, yes, it's an option, but that's really not my option, right? So you just have to remain convicted in what you want in order to overcome those hurdles, even in the toughest times. And then I also have friends who also are going through the transition as well, right? Who are pivoting in their career, who've left their job. And we use it as a support system. We share our little wins, we share our frustrations, because no one can do anything alone. Even if you're building a business by yourself, you need resources, you need coaches, you need people to help guide you from their level of expertise. So I think, having faith in yourself, and then having the right group of people. They may not have been the same people who were with you before. It may be a different circle, but those people are going to help you get through the toughest of times.
I love that. And I keep saying that, guys, because as someone who is living it, not lived, but living it, I find that to be so true, in that you need people around you who are going through what you're going through. So they can hold your hand, so you can have honest conversation, because in this world of social media, sometimes we only see the good side of most of the things that happens. And so when you have a group that's behind the scene, that's off camera, you can say, listen, I've gone 2 months and I haven't earned a dime. Or I'm feeling frustrated, or oh my God, I can't take how am I going to tell my kids that we can't take the vacation, or I have to cut something, or I can't get my nails done, or I can't do my hair, because that's just the reality of it. You're going to have those peers, but it's building. And so many of us, whenever we're so close to what we're going after, but we quit so early. But when you have that group that you shared about, Amy, is that you're able to go to them and share with them where you are. Because I find it's not that person's, you talk about they can't see your vision. I remember I read something once, and I probably would have shared this in an email to my community, is that waiting on somebody to see your vision and to believe it with you is like giving somebody else your glasses and say, look for me where I'm going. They can't. It's like your vision is coming through these eyes. You can't give somebody else, or you have your own eyesight and you're saying to somebody, tell me where to go. It's almost like you closed off what you can see. So that's your vision. And the reality is some persons just don't see it. They're not feeling the gut feeling that you have. Only you alone can really realize that.
Yes. All of those things.
She said, that's what I feel I'm doing. I feel alone doing this. You need a community. I say that to persons all the time. You need a community. Whether it's paid or not paid, you need a community. And there are a lot of groups out there. There are a lot of Facebook groups. When you see coaches have groups, whether on different platforms, Facebook, you name it, the thing is they know what community did for them. I know what community has done for me, and you've heard Amy say she's seen it, because you can't do it alone. And when you're doing it alone, sometimes you may feel like this is just happening to me and nobody else, but that's not true. Everybody else is going through. It's like being a parent, and you think that all the struggles, I'm like, oh my God, my son won't do his homework. My son won't do his homework. It's going to drive me crazy. And you're having a conversation with another parent, and you're like, oh my God, so this is common. This is not only in Jamaica, like this is worldwide. So you do need a community. Find a community, someone that you can just be honest with about how you're feeling.
And you honestly never know where you're going to find them. I was recently at a conference, and we got invited to like this brunch, and we were all talking on the table just of random things. And this founder started expressing how his girlfriend couldn't understand his wave of emotions. She's like, you just got an email and you were so happy, and now you're so upset. Or yesterday was a great day. Why are you mad today? Right. And he was talking about riding the waves of an entrepreneur. And, some days the littlest things that you get frustrated with really kind of change your trajectory. And yet the days that you're excited, it's like, wow, like you figured it out. and that it's a constant wave. It's not like, oh, you figured it out and everything's roses now. It continues on and
Yeah.
on and on.
And that is why you need the community. So when you
Yep.
have those waves, you can easily say, look in the WhatsApp group, oh my God, guys, I'm just so frustrated today. Or you get a picture from somebody, oh, I'm just on the beach because everything I try is not working. And then they give you suggestions that you weren't even thinking about that can help you to move forward.
Right.
Guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat. If we've said something that has helped you, go ahead and just share it. But as I said, we try to keep the live as short and spicy as possible so you can get something so you can implement. So before I ask Amy to just give her a wrap up, one of the things that we spoke about, just do it. Just jump. Want it more than you fear it. If you want it more than you fear it, you find a way around the fear. You find a way to make it happen. Ensure that you have a community that is helping you. Ensure that you have a community that is going to be honest with you, that you can share your ideas and your thoughts and your fears with, and have a plan. And everybody's plan is different. Amy shared that her plan was, how many months can I go without working? And she took a sabbatical. She took her 2 or 3 months, and she just did nothing for those 2 months. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe yours is 1 month, maybe it's 2 weeks. Maybe you need to jump right ahead and take the sabbatical later down because there's something that you need to work on right now. But ensure that you have a plan that works for you, and know that you are not alone. You are not alone. So I'm going to ask Amy to just give her wrap-up thoughts and also tell our viewers where they can find you.
Sure. So, Michelle, I'm so glad that you said that not everybody's plan works for them. My plan worked for me, but really my goal is to inspire people to develop a plan that works for them, which is why I founded the Nurse Sabbatical. So it's truly for anybody, but it's from a nurse's perspective. Figure out what you want in life and how to do it by taking a break. It could be 1 week, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 1 month, it could be 9 months. And so that is what I'm passionate about. That's what I want to inspire people to do. Take breaks, rest, and dream big. You can find me on the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at the Nurse Sabbatical, SABBATICAL, or you can look me up on LinkedIn, Amy Felix, where I love to drop gems on how we can take care of ourselves, how we can move throughout the corporate world, and yet still find moments to make sure that we are well.
Thank you so much, Amy. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing your gems and just having an honest moment with our viewers. I do hope that you guys found something useful from it. Amy, remind our viewers where you're from.
Sure. So I currently reside in the States. I'm in between Boston and Philadelphia, but I am a first-generation immigrant. My mom's from Trinidad and my dad's from Haiti.
Okay. And I really asked her to share that because I know we have persons joining from many places, and I wanted to let you know that you are not alone.
Yep. You're not
alone, no matter what field you are in it, and feeling like you want a change or you want to do something different. It doesn't mean that the thing you want to change from is anything is wrong with it. It's just not right for you right now where you are in your life. And so if you want to jump on to do something, you want to change, maybe you even decided to start a career path, an entrepreneurial venture, and you're changing that completely. That's okay. That's life. You get to do it because we're uniquely created and we are creatures where we can create just about anything, so therefore you're not stuck or confined to any one thing. So thank you so much. You are most welcome. You are most welcome.
Yes.
And as I always say, if it is that you have any topics that you want us to talk about, anything you want us to share, go ahead, drop it. You know where to find me. I'm info@strategy with Michelle everywhere. I dropped Amy's handles in the chat. Go ahead and follow her. Go ahead and reach out to her. If you know someone who is feeling burnt out, who is in a career path that they want to make a change from, or they fear doing something because maybe you just did one thing and then you can help others do something else that they're thinking of. So go ahead and start the spa. Go ahead and tag us when you come to Jamaica and you launch and everything. And we're looking forward to having more conversations. So remember, guys, when you jump over the fear won't go away, but it just means that you made one step. and you keep moving forward. I remember I can't remember her name, but lady who's from Cuba to Florida, she was scared. And one of the things that stuck with me from what she shared was that she just kept putting one hand in front of the other and she just continued moving. And so that's our hope for you with whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're seeking a promotion, looking to change your job, looking to add something different to your business. We are here for it. Go ahead and do it. We all have jumped and we are still alive. And the worst that can happen might happen, but you'll still be alive and you would have lived the experience. So thank you guys for coming on. Let me just bring Amy back into the room so she can say bye to you all. And remember, we are here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m.
Awesome.
Eastern
Thank
Standard.
you, Michelle, for having me. This has been fabulous.
You are most welcome. Bye, guys. Thank you for coming
Bye.
on. Yes. Conquering your fear of leaving jobs. Yes, yes, yes.
I love that.
No longer allowing you to grow is everything. There's
Yep.
so much power when you move on. So much power. But we have to end it. Have a great night, guys. Bye.